So I very recently just installed some string lights in my backyard. And why did I do that? Because, well, what gives you ambiance? It's lighting. And I'm going on a little lighting trip these past few weeks, and I've been trying to install awesome lighting everywhere. So in my backyard, even though I have still the pond that's unfinished, I went ahead and decided, let me add some string lights, because when people come over, I want us to hang out, have a good time, and feel like it's nice, bright, and happy in the backyard. What better way to do that than with some string lights? So I had a bunch of leftover wood from random pallets and just wood that I saw that looked like could be useful, and I picked up, and it's been laying and sitting down in my garage or my front yard, my backyard, just laying around everywhere. Trash everywhere. So I decided to grab a bunch of those 2x4s that I had, and I went ahead and took them into my workshop. I planed them down, got them as square as I can with some of my hand tools, and then I screwed and glued them all together. Not hard, very easy to do, just takes a little bit of elbow grease. And I went ahead and screwed them all together. I wanted these 2x4s to look like a 4x4, but I didn't want to go to the store and buy a big 4x4. So I went ahead and made myself a 10-foot 4x4 with separate 2x4s and screwing and gluing them all together. I went ahead, after I was done making this 10-foot 4x4, I went ahead and dug a hole in the ground as a third point for where the string lights are going to be, and I stuck this 10-foot 4x4 like a foot and a half into the ground. Used this wood filler to fill in the gaps in between the two 2x4s that I put together, because they weren't perfect. There were gaps in between. This isn't an indoor furniture project, it was just an outdoor project, so I was like, you know what, some wood filler would be fine. So I went ahead and used some wood filler in between these little gaps, and I made it look as 4x4-ish as possible. I wanted it to look as one solid mass of wood as possibly as I can. So after I did that, I painted it, and honestly, the paint is what did it. The paint made it look a million times better. After the paint, I went ahead and strung this solar powered string lights. I put the solar panel on top. It's a tiny little solar panel, maybe an 8x8 wide solar panel. I got it on Amazon. And then I tied the string lights to the top of this post to one tree, all the way to another tree, and then back to the post. So it basically made a giant triangle over the top of this pond that I built. And then I went and got rope, like this manila rope from Lowe's, and I tied it up to the top of this post, and I did the same thing. Boop, from the post to the tree, to the other tree, back to the post. It makes a aerial triangle, an airy-angle. The simplest method I could find to tying these string lights to the manila rope was by using zip ties, so I went ahead and zip tied all the string lights to the manila ropes. The issue I had here was that I could not get to one section of the rope and the string lights to zip tie together, so it's kind of hanging awkwardly away from it. I mainly wanted the rope for aesthetic purposes, but I also know we have a bunch of squirrels back here and they love to run on things, and I didn't want them putting any tension or strain on the string lights. So I figured if I had the rope, they would run on the rope would take the tension, there would be no electrical issues in the future. But it is what it is. We'll see how they last. I haven't seen any squirrels running on that rope. Maybe it's unstable, maybe don't feel comfortable running on it. Maybe I have some fat squirrels that don't like to run on rope and only prefer big trees because they can handle their weight. Many theories, but we don't know. The string lights were great. I would say though, in the future, what I would do is maybe bring the string lights a little lower, because I have them really high up. And I would like, there's hard to find cheap products that make like lampshades for each individual string light, because I want the light to be pointed downwards. I don't want it shooting everywhere. I was debating on going on my 3D printer and printing it out, but it seems like such a hassle to have to, now that they're up, put a lampshade on every single light, especially the ones that I can't reach because they're right over the pond and I don't have 2 ladders, I only have 1. So I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is. The string light adds a lot of ambience, but it doesn't provide enough light. Maybe it's because it's a solar powered light. If you're gonna try this, I think maybe the plug-in ones provide more power to the string lights and they might provide more light in the area. To circumvent this, I went ahead. The thing is, I didn't want a plug to be running from the post down into my house, so I decided to opt for the solar power, and honestly it's fine with me. I just circumvented the lack of light by adding a bunch of tiki torches. So if I have people over, I'll just light all the tiki torches, turn on the solar powered light, boom, problem solved. Enough light everywhere. Plus I have a lamp that's right next to my house that shoots into this area, so it's not really that dark. It's kind of dark, I guess, if you're used to New York City bright lights, but for me, I think it's perfect. Next up, I just gotta work on the patio area. That's gonna be a whole other project in itself, but I'll go into that later. Let me show you what this area looks like right now. It's a bit of a mess, so please don't judge me.
Right there are the string lights.
This is a pretty good angle. You can see there's the pond right there. I want to make the area on that side a like hangout patio area, and then the string lights add a lot of flavor, a lot of life to the area. But honestly, I think the tiki torches add like 10 times more power, energy, good energy to the area than the lights do. In combination, they're both great. That's all I really got for this little video I made for you guys, so thanks so much. See you in the future.